You already know what this feels like. The weight of watching everyone else move forward while you remain perfectly still, not paralyzed by circumstance, paralyzed by the story you keep telling yourself about why you can't. You've been waiting for the right moment, the right feeling, the right version of yourself to finally appear. It never comes because you're looking for permission that no one is going to give you. The world doesn't reward waiting. It rewards people who decided they were done asking. You were taught that power is something you earn through compliance. Be good. Follow the rules. Work hard. Stay humble. Keep your head down. And eventually, someone will notice. Someone will validate you. Someone will tell you, it's your turn now. That's the lie that made you weak. You confused patience with permission. You thought waiting was a virtue when it was actually a strategy to keep you docile. You were told that wanting more was selfish, that ambition was arrogance, that hunger made you ugly. So you learned to shrink. You learned to smile through resentment. You learned to celebrate other people's wins while your own dreams decomposed in silence. The programming runs deep. It taught you that powerlessness is noble, that suffering builds character, that if you just endure long enough, the universe will reward your goodness. But the universe doesn't operate on fairness. It operates on force. And while you were busy being good, other people were busy taking what they wanted. You weren't protecting your integrity. You were protecting your fear. Because staying small meant you never had to risk being seen as too much, too hungry, too demanding, too unwilling to settle. You traded power for safety. And now you're realizing safety was just another word for slow extinction. Here's what it costs you. Every single day, you wake up already tired, not physically, spiritually. You're exhausted from pretending that this is enough, that this job is enough, that this relationship is enough, that this version of your life is the best you could have done. You move through your days like someone going through the motions of a script you never agreed to perform. And the worst part is that you've gotten good at it. You've learned to manage the disappointment so well that other people think you're fine. But you're not fine. You're eroding from the inside out. Every time you swallow what you really want to say, every time you watch someone with half your talent take what should have been yours, every time you choose comfort over confrontation, you lose a piece of yourself, not dramatically, quietly, like rust. The real violence isn't what happened to you. It's what you've allowed to keep happening. The repetition of small surrenders. The daily practice of making yourself smaller so other people can feel bigger. You've been so focused on not making waves that you forgot you were drowning. And the cruelest part, no one is coming to save you, not because they don't care, but because they can't see you anymore. You've become invisible through your own politeness, forgettable through your own restraint. You wanted to be liked so badly that you became irrelevant. You're not on anyone's mind because you never demanded to be. You thought humility would make you noble. Instead, it made you a footnote. You're watching your life pass by like it belongs to someone else. And every night you tell yourself tomorrow will be different. But tomorrow you wake up and do the exact same thing because you're still waiting, still hoping, still believing that if you're just a little more patient, a little more understanding, a little more willing to sacrifice, eventually it will be your turn. It won't. Not until you take it. Something breaks in you, not loudly, not with fanfare, just a quiet collapse of the last excuse you were using to justify your smallness. You realize that no one is keeping score of your suffering. No one is measuring your endurance and preparing your reward. You've been performing patience for an audience that wasn't watching, and the only person impressed by your restraint was you. This is the moment you stop asking for permission to want more. You stop explaining yourself to people who will never understand. You stop waiting for conditions to be perfect before you move. Because you finally see the truth that terrifies everyone else. There is no perfect time. There is no moment when you'll feel ready. There's only now. And you can either use it or waste it explaining why you can't. You stop confusing kindness with weakness. You realize that protecting other people's comfort at the cost of your own ambition wasn't noble. It was self-destruction dressed up as virtue. You were so afraid of being seen as selfish that you gave everything away until you had nothing left. That ends now. The shift isn't about becoming cruel. It's about becoming precise. You stop giving energy to people who drain you. You stop engaging in conversations that lead nowhere. You stop tolerating disrespect, disguised as honesty. You cut away everything that isn't making you stronger. And yes, people will notice. They'll call you different. They'll say you've changed. Good. You were supposed to. This is where you stop performing for approval and start moving toward power. Real power. The kind that doesn't need validation because it's built on what you've done, not what you've said. You stop talking about your plans and you start executing in silence because you've learned that people don't respect potential. They respect results. You rebuild yourself in the dark. No announcements, no updates, no explanations. You just disappear into the work. Every morning you wake up and choose discipline over motivation. You show up when you don't feel like it. You push when every part of you wants to quit. You stop waiting to feel inspired, and you start building momentum through sheer repetition. You learn to sit with discomfort without numbing it. You stop reaching for distractions every time the silence gets loud. You stop scrolling to avoid thinking. You stop talking to avoid doing. You get comfortable being alone with the version of yourself you're trying to leave behind. That's where the real work happens, in the space between who you were and who you're becoming. You start protecting your energy like it's the most valuable thing you own. Because it is. You stop giving your attention to people who haven't earned it. You stop explaining your decisions to people who aren't going to support them anyway. You become selectively unavailable. Not out of arrogance, out of necessity. Because you finally understand that every yes to someone else is a no to yourself. You stop celebrating prematurely. You stop sharing your progress before it's undeniable. You let your results speak while everyone else is still talking. You move differently now, quieter, sharper, more deliberate. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be undeniable. The old you wanted everyone to see you trying. The new you only wants them to see you winning. And the difference between those two versions isn't talent. It's not luck. It's the decision to stop asking if you deserve it and start proving you've already earned it. Power was never going to find you waiting. You had to become the kind of person it couldn't ignore.